For 11 years, she stayed silent. Drugged, kidnapped, assault her attacker, allegedly New York's top law enforcement official. Now, Angel DuBose is breaking her silence about that horrific night back in 2014, and now the names she's naming will shock you to your core. Attorney General Letitia James, the woman who made her career prosecuting Trump, stands accused of participating in a ritualistic assault on her own staffer. Chief of Staff Ibrahim Khan allegedly drugged her. James allegedly asked, "Is she out?" as they loaded her semi-unconscious body into an official vehicle. The cover-up that followed involves altered documents, buried investigations, and deleted news stories. What you're about to hear will shake New York's power structure to its foundation. So brace yourself. While corrupt officials allegedly assault their own staff, nature provides its own justice. Patriot Bee Best exposes how our food system depends on American bees, the unsung heroes feeding our nation. Just like we need honest law enforcement, we need healthy bee populations. For just 17 cents a day, you can join a movement preserving both our republic and our food chain. This veteran-owned sanctuary, it educates patriots about the bee crisis that's threatening America's agricultural independence. And you can subscribe at patriotbeebest.com to support bee restoration and get exclusive content about nature's hardest workers. Unlike corrupt politicians, bees never lie, they never steal, and they never betray. patriotbeebest.com. It's linked down below. Catch the buzz today. Now, Angel DuBose waited 11 years for justice, and now she's done waiting. The former staffer under Letitia James is speaking publicly on camera, naming names and demanding accountability. Legal experts like former prosecutor Serena Townsend say what happened to her deserves immediate federal investigation. Watch Townsend explain why this case stinks of a cover-up. Watch.
Letitia James, who last time came on, you brought up the whole mortgage fraud and what should happen there. Now there's even more about this case. Now she's being investigated in Virginia because she had a primary residence over there, but you can't be primary residence because you're getting a special mortgage deal, but you can't do that because you work and live in New York State. There's a woman that has come out and said that she sexually was harassed by not only Tish James, but her chief of staff, and she was covering it up. Oh. The Post had originally written about this. The story here is that it got buried.
The story got buried. New York Post reported it. Sexual assault, mortgage fraud, now investigation demands. Letitia James has more scandals than convictions. The walls are closing in. Townsend didn't stop there. Her analysis of how James' office should have handled this allegation reveals the depth of the corruption. The conflict of interest alone should have triggered an outside investigation. Watch.
It sounds like she is very picky and choosy with respect to who she investigates and when. I don't have a ton of dealings with her office, but I've been a little unimpressed with respect to what she's willing to do, even in light of evidence that exists and what she's, essentially not willing to investigate. And this, to me, sounds par for the course, that she probably didn't want to investigate this as thoroughly as she, could have, because it involved somebody that was close to her. And also, by the way, when it comes to somebody that high up in the office or that close to her, a lot of times you hire or push out to an external oversight investigative team rather than internally investigating it because of the possibility of this looking biased, right? Because of the fact that, you personally, you as the AG are close with the person being accused. Sometimes, just the appearance of impropriety is enough.
The appearance of impropriety is enough, yet James investigated herself and found nothing wrong. Classic deep state playbook. Well, we investigated ourselves and we cleared ourselves, right? Now, DuBose herself has had enough of her silence. Her raw testimony will chill your blood. This is not some political hit job. This is a woman describing her kidnapping and assault by people who were supposed to protect her. Watch.
I'm not mad, but I'm upset. You know why I'm upset? So the reason why I'm upset is because I was kidnapped. I don't have time because justice seems to keep skipping my row. I'm here to have a talk about a kidnapping and assault that happened to me by Letitia James, Ibrahim Khan, and 10 members of their staff back in 2014.
She said she was drugged, assaulted, silenced, and now she's calling out New York's top cop, Letitia James. This isn't a conspiracy theory from some random troll on Twitter. This is Angel S. DuBose, a former staffer in James' own office, and she's not whispering anymore. She's on camera naming names.
She said, I was kidnapped. Not allegedly, not maybe. She states it as a fact. Letitia James, Ibrahim Khan, and 10 staff members, all named, all accused. And the details get worse. She describes the night of December 2014 when her life changed forever. A Christmas party turned into a nightmare. One drugged drink and then darkness. Watch.
So these allegations were first reported back in 2017. But then the article straight up scrubbed from the internet. Now Angel's back, she's talking loudly, and she got receipts. So this story started back from December 2014. It was an office party meant to close out the new year with laughs, drinks, and holiday cheer, will instead become the night where Angel DuBose says her life changed forever. She was a young staffer in the NYC Public Advocate Office under Letitia James, motivated, idealistic, and working her way up in city politics. She remembers the party vibe being typical at first. There was politicians, aides, interns, and insiders packed into a Manhattan bar. There was music, there were speeches, and there were drinks. And that's when she says Ibrahim Khan, Letitia James' right-hand man, handed her a glass. One drink, and that's all it took. She said not long after sipping it, she felt off. Her words, fuzzy, dizzy, like I couldn't control my body. She went outside to smoke, hoping the fresh air would help. Then everything went black. The next thing she remembers, waking up disoriented, soaking wet in the middle of the street, alone. Her phone was dead, her shoes were gone, and her body ached in ways that she couldn't explain. She said she knew something had happened.
Waking up in the rain alone, coat gone, phone dead, body aching, every woman's worst nightmare. Allegedly orchestrated by New York's top prosecutor. The transportation details are damning. She remembers being loaded into James' official Lincoln town car while semi-conscious. And her James' chilling question still haunts her. Watch.
DuBose says she was put in the back of a Lincoln town car. Now remember, she was out. She apparently had been drugged. She was put in the back of a Lincoln town car, James's official car. She remembers hearing Letitia James ask, quote, is she out? Quote, as she was placed semi-conscious next to James in the back seat. DuBose says she woke up in the rain hours later, disoriented, coat and bag gone, and later recounted a bizarre ritual involving chanting, groping, and a circle of people, including James and Chief of Staff Ibrahim Khan. For years, her story was suppressed.
Unbelievable. Is she out? Those are the three words that reveal intent. Premeditation, knowledge. Now, if true, Letitia James isn't just complicit, she's a predator. And the most disturbing revelation? The ritualistic nature of the alleged assault. She describes waking during the attack to witness something from a horror movie. Listen.
This is the woman that said that she was allegedly abducted at a Christmas party in 2014 by one of the employees of Letitia James. And Andrew Dubois is also an employee of Letitia James herself. So they're all co-workers attending this, this company Christmas party. And she said that one night she was drugged and kidnapped. She woke up in the middle of it happening. She said they were chanting and doing ritualistic stuff. So they were doing some chanting. They were touching her. And then she woke up later in the rain in the street. So we haven't really heard too much from her side of this whole thing. we do know that after that story came out, it was heavily suppressed. All right. Even New York Post got rid of their article about it. And so her story essentially disappeared into the past.
Chanting, touching, ritualistic behavior, then dumped in the street like garbage. This isn't just assault, it's a cult-level evil. The cover-up machinery kicked in immediately. She filed complaints within days. Her EEO report was allegedly altered by James' staff before submission. The Department of Investigation closed the case in just 4 days. 4 days for kidnapping and sexual assault allegations against the Public Advocate's Office. Now, here's what gets interesting. The New York Post actually published her story back in 2017. 5 years later, they deleted it without explanation right when new sexual misconduct allegations emerged against Ibrahim Khan. Coincidence? No. There are no coincidences in deep state New York. The Manhattan DA refused prosecution, claiming DuBose didn't say stop during her assault. So how does a drugged, semi-conscious woman say stop? Well, the fix was in from day one. Now, Frank Parlato's reporting has gone viral, amplified by President Trump himself. Independent journalists, filmmakers, and former officials are now picking up the story the mainstream media buried. DuBose has launched a GoFundMe for legal expenses, and a documentary is apparently in production. And the truth is breaking free. This is the article that is now going viral. It was first brought to my attention by Roger Stone, who put out this tweet here. And I'm like, what's going on here, Letitia? Because I'm always want to find out what's going on with Letitia James. You know, she's got this mortgage fraud investigation going on. So naturally, I'm searching for information related to her. And this Roger Stone post pops up on my radar. You see what it says? Shocking allegations of sexual abuse and abduction by Tish James. Big Tish is headed to the big house. Art Voice. More on Angel DuBose Christmas party accusations. Will it end Letitia James? Now, Brian, I want to let's go full screen here because I want to bring up the phone feed if we can. Let's go full screen and let me bring up the actual article that I have for people to see. This is the full article. And okay, so more info. This is the full article. Frank Parlato. Angel DuBose says she went to a Christmas party, ended up drugged, kidnapped, assaulted, and dumped like garbage by her own staff, her own boss and staff. Her boss, Letitia James. It wasn't in an abandoned warehouse, a city office Christmas party. She came to the party like anyone else, but says she didn't leave the way she came. It happened, the claim assault occurred at Woodrow's in Manhattan. Here's the map location of that. Here's a picture of the bar. Woodrow's Bar and Grill in Manhattan. That's where she says she was drugged. Cab ride home. Following the alleged assault, she states James' staff attempted to convince her the incident had not occurred, that her mind had invented it like a bedtime story with monsters and men in suits. Yeah. She was drunk, they said, and James' assistant, Sarah Venezuela, put her in a cab to take her home. Sarah Kathleen Venezuela, there's a picture here. She called a cab, they say. She wasn't drunk. She was drugged. Now, this is the original. Let's see if we can pull up this original. This is the original story from the New York Post that was scrubbed. See if we can bring this up for you in a big screen. There it is. Ex-worker in public advocate's office says agency covered up the sexual assault. This article was deleted the moment that new allegations came up against Ibrahim Khan. Coincidence? Of course not. So I'm not sure if this is an actual picture of a bar, but you get the idea of someone getting drugged. Horrible story. And this is President Trump actually tweeting this story. Let's see if we can get a closer image of that for you. From Me Too crusader to cover up Letitia James' silence on alleged serial predator Ibrahim Khan. So this is the post that Donald Trump made in 2017, I believe, raising the stakes. And he posted the original artvoice.com article. Donald Trump posted a link in my story about Letitia James. Number of media influencers have carried the narrative across YouTube and other platforms, and that's where we found some of the clips you saw today in this article. So we want to make sure you are aware of this. This is huge. Now, James has called these allegations lies. Her spokesperson has dismissed them. But evidence does exist. Original EEO filings, hospital records, witness names. If DuBose is lying, I think that they have to prove it. If she's telling the truth, Letitia James is a monster. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. It's time for my final thought. 11 years of silence, 11 years of cover-up, 11 years of a woman's truth buried by New York's power elite. What happened to believe all women? What happened to Me Too? Well, Angel DuBose deserves justice, not just for herself, but for every victim silenced by corrupt officials. Letitia James made her career claiming to fight for women while allegedly participating in the drugging and kidnapping of her own staffer. The hypocrisy is staggering, and the evil is undeniable. This demands a federal investigation right now. Kash Patel at FBI, Dan Bongino as deputy director. The cavalry's coming. No more investigating themselves. No more media blackouts. No more silencing victims. If these allegations are true, James isn't just unfit for office. She belongs in prison. So here's my question for you. Should President Trump order an immediate federal investigation into Letitia James over this? Yes or no? Make your voice heard in the comments below and support truth and the Next News Network by visiting shop.nextnewsnetwork.com, because real journalism matters now more than ever.